At this late hour, we're getting reports of renewed outrage from North Korea on the eve of the president's departure for the Pacific Rim. The North Koreans claiming that Trump has ordered B-1 bombers to stage a mock nuclear attack on the Hermit Kingdom. It reportedly caused panic in the capital, Pyongyang. The Pentagon confirms it did run a joint mission with the South Korean Air Force involving B-1s from Guam. House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Ed Royce has called for a supercharged response to North Korea. So is this what you had in mind, Mr. Chairman? The flyover today, it sounds like we're demonstrating a little show of force.
Well, Shannon, let me explain that we're in a situation right now where, and we got details about this from our hearing yesterday, where we had the highest ranking minister from North Korea ever to testify, or defector ever to testify before Congress, about how close they are. And we know a lot about the threats they're making to the United States. We need a credible deterrence that sends the message that, no, we are serious. This concept that they have of threatening the United States, we have to take decisive action now. And part of that is going to be this upcoming trip to try to cut off the currency that North Korea needs to build out its nuclear weapon system and its missile system. We have an opportunity to really pressure North Korea and cut the funds off and shut down that program.
The president spoke earlier today with our own Laura Ingraham about what actions we're taking with regard to North Korea. Here's what he said.
Most people have been saying, you know, whether it's cutting the banking system off from North Korea, whether it's cutting the oil down to North Korea, cutting supplies down. And I must tell you, North Korea is a thing that I think we will solve. And if we don't solve it, it's not going to be very pleasant for them. It's not going to be very pleasant, I guess, for anybody. But China is helping us.
Mr. Chairman, how convinced are you that China is fully on board with helping us?
China has helped us in some ways, but have not thrown themselves into this with the enthusiasm necessary to cut off and isolate North Korea in the way they could. And the importance of this trip at this moment is that we have to have their full compliance. Now, I passed legislation mandating this. If we're going to open our markets as we have to Chinese goods, they have to freeze the accounts with North Korea. We forced this once before in 2006. We've got to force that issue, and we've got to do it now. And part of the diplomatic aspects of this is to make it clear what the consequences would be, but also why it is not in China's interest to have North Korea go rogue with this capability, because then Japan and South Korea are also going to develop a nuclear weapons program. The genie will be out of the bottle.
I know that you think that we should also be pushing to add North Korea back to the list of state terror sponsors, and that would give us some more tools to work with them. But how worried are you at this point that we are headed towards some kind of military showdown with them?
I am convinced at this point they don't have the capability, right? So now is the time to cut off the ability for them to have the billions of additional dollars they need to build out the program, to miniaturize the weapon, to put it on their ICBMs. This is our last opportunity. Well, according to our defector, our minister who testified, if we listen to Tae Young-ho, he says they're on the cusp. And I think he's right. They are very, very close. So now would be the time to have their dictator not able to pay his generals, not able to pay to maintain. When we put those sanctions on in 2006, it shut down the production line for their missile program. It shut down their capabilities, and it shut down their ability to pay their officers and their army. That is not a good position for a dictator to be in, and that is, if we press China on this and give them that choice, business with the United States for these financial institutions, and cut off those accounts, or no business. Look, that's the kind of hard diplomacy we've got to do now.
And we'll be watching to see the president as he navigates all of these relationships next week. Thank you for joining us for a preview, Mr. Chairman. Good to see you.
Thank you, Shannon.